The road towards Blanchland appears bleak and desolate on this early October afternoon. A seemingly endless landscape punctuated by ruined farm buildings and the relics of lead mines long since disused. The odd grouse can be heard calling above the howl of the autumn wind. And then Blanchland appears, a village seemingly lost in time. The only telltale signs of modernity being the various vehicles dotted throughout the village, a village born out of the ruins of a once thriving Premonstratensian abbey. Premonstratensian monks, nicknamed the White Canons, likely, albeit posthumously, gave the village of Blanchland its name, from the French for white. The original priory was built here at the behest of Walter de Bolbec in 1165, but wasn't granted abbey status until the late 13th century. In 1327, King Edward III stayed overnight at the abbey in order to make his confession before battle with the Scots. It would seem his confession was premature, though, as the battle never happened. Legend has it, however, that the very same year Scottish armies were passing through the Derwent Valley, and the White Canons, upon hearing of this, prayed that their abbey would be spared. Their prayers appeared to be answered when a heavy mist descended over the valley, obscuring the abbey from view. Unfortunately, the canons celebrated prematurely, ringing the abbey bell to alert all and sundry that the threat had passed. The Scots, upon hearing the bell, returned to Blanchland and ransacked the abbey. Sadly, the abbey went the way of all such monasteries during the dissolution, and in 1539 was abandoned. Most of the abbey was destroyed, leaving only the north transept as a reminder of what once was there. Immediately next door to the abbey, we now find a rather warm and welcoming hotel called the Lord Crewe Arms. The original building was in fact home to the Abbot of Blanchland and guest accommodation for visitors to the abbey. To this very day, the ghost of the abbot is said to haunt one of the rooms of the hotel and has been seen and heard moving things around the room. A visit to the crypt bar within the hotel revealed more of its fascinating history. In 1704, the building, along with the entire village and estate of the Forster family, who were in financial difficulty, was bought by Lord Nathaniel Crewe, Bishop of Durham, who was married to Dorothy Forster. In 1715, Dorothy's nephew, General Tom Forster, was a key figure in the Jacobite rebellion. Tom surrendered at the Battle of Preston in November of 1715 and was taken and held at Newgate Prison in London. His sister, also named Dorothy, residing at Bamborough at the time, hatched a plot with a local blacksmith to spring him from jail. Legend has it that the young Dorothy Forster, along with the blacksmith, rode on horseback through treacherous, snowy conditions from Northumberland to London, where she smuggled her brother from prison, disguised as a maid. A story is told that she then hid him in a priest hole above a fireplace in Lord Crewe's property, now the hotel, until he could flee into exile in France. To this day, Dorothy's ghost is said to haunt the passages of the hotel in search of someone to take a message to her brother in France. Sadly, Dorothy Crewe, née Forster, was reported to have been so grief-stricken by her nephew's plight that she went into convulsions and died in October of 1716. Tragically, Lord Crewe spent the next few years with failing health, spending hours sitting alone at his wife's grave, and eventually died in 1721. The village of Blanchland is still owned by the Lord Crewe's Charitable Trust, and each of the quaint, honey-coloured buildings are occupied on a tenancy basis, making this timeless conservation village somewhat of a unique idyll in an increasingly less than idyllic world.